Chosen one, something happened in the unseen realm because of you. Not because of your prayers, not because of your fasting, not because of your declarations, because of your attitude. The way you carried yourself when everything was falling apart. The way you held your tongue when every fiber of your being wanted to scream. The way you chose stillness when chaos was circling you like a predator looking for an opening. That attitude, that specific, quiet, unshakable posture you held when no one was watching. It caused a reaction in the heavens that has shaken the courts of glory. I need you to hear this. The courts of heaven do not pause for eloquent words. They pause for character under fire. And your character under fire left the Almighty stunned into silence. Even Michael, the archangel of war, the one who stands at the front of every battle, even he turned and looked. Not because you fought, but because you did not. Stay with me until the very end of this message, because I am going to show you 3 truths about your attitude that heaven itself recorded. I am going to give you a specific tool, a framework that will help you sustain this frequency in whatever comes next. And before this message closes, I will speak an activation over your life that I believe will mark this day as a turning point in your spiritual journey. This is not entertainment. This is a spiritual briefing, and it was meant only for you. Now, to understand what happened in that throne room, I need to take you back to something you have been carrying, something heavy, something no one around you fully sees. I want you to think about last night, or maybe it was 3 nights ago. It does not matter which one, because they have started to blur together. You were lying in bed. The house was quiet. Everyone else had either gone to sleep or gone on with their lives. And you were staring at the ceiling with this weight pressing against your chest, this invisible stone sitting right where your breath is supposed to be. Your jaw was tight. Your hands were gripping the phone, but you were not typing. You were not calling anyone. Because who would you call? Who in your life right now would actually understand the depth of what you are carrying? And in that silence, a question rose up from somewhere deep inside you. Does anyone even see me? Does anyone know what I am going through? Does any of this even matter? That question. That exact question you have been asking in the dark when the world is asleep. It is about to be answered in a way you never expected. Because what I need you to understand is that the exhaustion you have been feeling, that bone-deep tiredness that sleep does not fix, that is not ordinary fatigue, the emotional waves that have been crashing through you without warning. Tears one moment, peace the next. Then sadness again for no reason you can name. Those are not random mood swings. The way your tolerance for drama has dropped to almost zero. The way conversations that used to be normal now feel suffocating. The way certain environments make you want to leave before you even sit down. These are not signs that something is wrong with you. These are signs that something is shifting inside you. And what is shifting is directly connected to the attitude you have been holding. Let me show you the first truth. Most people believe that what moves heaven is grand acts of faith, miracles, worship so powerful it shakes the walls, declarations spoken with the force of 1,000 voices. And those things matter. They do. But there is something that registers even louder in the spiritual realm, and almost nobody talks about it. It is your attitude during suffering, not your attitude when things are good. Anybody can praise when the bills are paid and the relationships are healthy. What heaven watches most closely is what you do when the ground beneath you disappears. How you carry yourself when the people who were supposed to stand with you walk away. What comes out of your mouth when your heart is being crushed and no one is recording it. There is a word in the original Greek scriptures, makrothumia. Most people translate it as patience, but that translation misses the depth entirely. Makrothumia does not simply mean waiting. It means long-tempered. It describes someone who maintains the quality of their character over an extended period of suffering. The Greeks had another word, hupomone, which means endurance of circumstance, the ability to survive what happens to you. But macrothumia is different. Macrothumia is the endurance of character. It is not about lasting through the storm. It is about who you remain while the storm is destroying everything around you. And that, chosen one, is exactly what heaven noticed about you. God did not notice that you survived. He noticed how you survived. He noticed the quality of your spirit while the quality of your life was falling apart. This is the first truth. Your attitude in suffering is the most observed thing in the spiritual realm. More observed than your prayers, more recorded than your worship. Because prayers can be performed, worship can be rehearsed. But attitude under pressure, that cannot be faked. That is the raw, unfiltered truth of who you are. And heaven saw it all. They saw the moment you chose to forgive someone who never once said sorry. They saw the morning you woke up and chose to keep going when everything in your body screamed to stay down. They saw the conversation where you held your tongue and let the lie stand rather than start a war you did not have the energy to fight. They saw the night you chose kindness when bitterness had already set the table and pulled out a chair for you. They saw every single one of those moments. Not one was missed. Not one was wasted. If your spirit just confirmed that, if something in your chest shifted when you heard those words, type 777 in the comments right now. Let that be your acknowledgement of what you have been carrying. Now, here is what most people would consider enough. Knowing that heaven saw you, knowing that your silent endurance was recorded and honored, that alone could carry you through the rest of this year. But chosen one, this is only the first truth, and the next one goes much deeper, because your attitude did not just get observed. It did something. It created something, something that even the angels did not expect, and I need to show you what that is. Remember when I said your attitude did something unexpected? Let me show you what I mean, because what I am about to share connects ancient spiritual truth to something scientists have only recently been able to measure. When a person is placed under extreme stress, the brain has a default response. It drops into survival mode. Your thinking narrows, your creativity shuts down, your body floods with cortisol and adrenaline, and the only thing your mind can process is threat and reaction. This is what happens to most people when life falls apart. Their brain locks into the frequency of fear. But researchers at institutions like MIT and Princeton discovered something unusual in rare individuals. When the pressure reaches its peak, instead of dropping into survival frequency, the brain does the opposite. It rises. It shifts into what neuroscientists call the gamma frequency, the highest measurable brainwave state. Gamma is the frequency linked to genius-level thinking, deep intuition, heightened clarity, and what some scientists describe as the flow state, that rare condition where everything seems to slow down and you can see solutions you could never see before. And here is what stopped me when I first learned this. The trigger for this shift is not meditation. It is not years of training. It is character under pressure. It is the decision, in the worst moment of your life, to hold your composure instead of losing it, to respond with grace instead of destruction. What felt like silence was actually a signal. Your composure under fire was not just human restraint. It was producing something. Think of it this way. You know how a diamond is formed. Carbon. Just ordinary carbon. The same element found in pencil, lead, and charcoal. Nothing special about it on the surface. But when that carbon is placed under extreme heat and extreme pressure for an extended period of time, something happens. The molecular structure realigns. The atoms lock into a pattern so precise, so perfectly ordered, that what comes out the other side is the hardest, most brilliant substance on Earth. But here is the part most people miss. Not all carbon becomes diamond. Most carbon, when placed under that same heat and pressure, simply breaks apart. It crumbles. It turns to dust. The difference between the carbon that becomes diamond and the carbon that becomes dust is one thing: alignment. The internal structure has to hold its position while everything around it is trying to crush it. Your attitude is that alignment. The pressure was real. The heat was real. But because you held your internal structure, because you maintained who you are while the world was trying to reshape you into something bitter and broken, something formed inside you that cannot be destroyed. And that something did not stay hidden. It produced a frequency, and that frequency began to rise. And I have to ask you something right now. What if every moment of pressure you have endured was never designed to break you? What if it was the exact condition required to create what you are becoming? What if the suffering was not the enemy of your destiny, but the instrument of it? Let me take you deeper. There was a man in ancient scripture named Job. You may know his name. Most people remember Job as the man who lost everything: his wealth, his children, his health, his reputation. His friends turned into accusers. His own wife told him to curse God and die. And the world watched, waiting for him to collapse. But Job did something that disturbed the order of things. He did not stay silent in a perfect, composed way. No, he argued. He wept. He questioned. He screamed at the heavens, demanding answers. He was messy and broken and raw. But through all of it, through every tear and every accusation thrown at him, he never abandoned his integrity. His attitude toward who he was and whose he was, that never cracked. The behavior was imperfect, but the character beneath it held, and this is important. Job's attitude was not the absence of pain, it was the presence of character inside the pain, and that distinction changed everything that followed. If something just clicked for you, if you just saw your own story reflected in his, type the words "I see it" in the comments right now. Because what I am about to reveal next is where this connects to you directly, and I hear the Father saying something over you right now. These are the words being placed on my heart for you in this moment. My child, it was not your strength that silenced me. It was your softness. In a world that hardened everyone around you, you remained soft. You remained open. You remained kind when kindness had been stolen from you 100 times over. And that softness in the middle of fire, that gentleness that refused to die no matter how many times it was beaten, that is what left me without words. Because my children often come to me asking for power, for provision, for promotion. But you, without even realizing it, you showed me my own nature reflected back to me. You showed me what my character looks like when it lives inside a human heart under maximum pressure. And that moved me more deeply than 1,000 prayers. Your composure under fire was not human restraint. It was divine frequency. It was my nature, living inside your choices, radiating outward through your silence. Before I show you what this means for your future, before I reveal the truth that makes all of this snap into place, gently press the like button, not for me, so that this message can find its way to someone else tonight who is carrying a weight that nobody around them can see. Someone who needs to know that their silence was never empty. Now there is something else I discovered while studying this. Something scientists call the frequency switch. A mechanism in the brain that determines whether pressure destroys you or transforms you. I am going to show you exactly what it is and how it connects to everything I just told you. But not yet. there is a deeper truth I need to show you first. Because what happened when your frequency reached the throne room, the reaction it caused in the courts of heaven, that was not what anyone expected. Not the angels, not the watchers, and not even Michael. Remember the frequency I told you about? Remember how your attitude under pressure created something that rose beyond the noise of this world? Let me show you where it arrived and what happened when it got there. Imagine this. Your frequency, born in the darkest, loneliest moment of your life, begins to rise. It moves past the noise of the people who misunderstood you, past the chaos of the bills and the broken promises and the sleepless nights, past every lie that was spoken about you and every truth that was ignored. It keeps rising through layers of the spiritual realm that you do not have names for, past the watchers, past the guardians, until it enters a space that very few frequencies ever reach, the throne room. And when it arrives, something unusual happens. The angels who sing without ceasing, the ones whose only assignment is continuous worship, they pause, not because they were told to stop, because the atmosphere shifted. It shifted from worship to witnessing. Something had entered the room that demanded attention. And then the Most High looks, not at nations, not at armies, not at the movements of empires or the rise and fall of kingdoms. He looks at the source of the frequency. He looks at you, a single soul on a small planet, carrying unbearable weight, responding with a grace that has no human explanation. And for a moment, the creator of every language that has ever existed, the one who spoke light into darkness and called galaxies by name, had no words adequate for what he witnessed. His silence was not the silence of disappointment. It was not the silence of distance. It was the silence of a father so deeply moved by what his child became under fire that speaking would have diminished the moment. Some things are too sacred for words, even for God. And Michael, the archangel of war, the one whose assignment since the beginning of time has been to fight, to lead armies, to strike down what threatens the purposes of the Almighty, even he was moved, not because you displayed power, but because he recognized something in you, something he had only ever seen in the divine, the ability to carry fire without being consumed by it, the ability to hold destruction in your hands and choose to set it down instead of throwing it. That is what stunned him, not what you did, what you refused to become. Let me tell you about someone who walked this same path. I will not give you his name, but I will give you his story because it mirrors what I believe many of you are living right now. He was 47 years old. He had spent 15 years building a business with a partner he trusted like a brother. And one morning, without warning, that partner walked away, took the clients, took the contracts, took the reputation they had built together, and used it to launch a competing company. Every advisor he spoke to said the same thing: fight back, sue, go public, destroy him before he destroys you. And he wanted to. Every cell in his body wanted to burn it all down. But he did not. He chose silence, not the silence of weakness, the silence of someone who understood that his response would define him longer than the betrayal ever could. He rebuilt, quietly, without revenge, without public statements, without a single word spoken against the man who took everything from him. 14 months later, his new company surpassed the original in every measurable way, and the partner's venture collapsed, not by his hand, but by forces he never orchestrated. When someone asked him how he did it, he said one sentence: "I did not win because I was smarter. I won because I refused to let their behavior change mine." He proved himself in silence before he promoted himself in public. And before this message ends, I am going to speak something over your life that I believe will seal everything you are hearing into your spirit. It is not going to be a regular prayer. It is an activation, a commissioning. Stay with me. If your spirit receives this truth, if something inside you just said, "This is mine, this is my story," type the words "I receive" in the comments right now to seal it over your life. Now take a breath. What I just showed you is the beauty of your story, the glory of what your attitude created. But I need to show you the shadow too, because there is something inside that almost stopped your frequency from ever reaching the throne. And you need to see it clearly so it can never block you again. Here is the raw truth. Part of you does not believe what I just said. Part of you is listening right now and whispering, "This cannot be about me. I am not that person. I am not that pure. I am not that strong." I know because I can feel the resistance from here. Notice it. Notice how your chest just tightened slightly. Notice the voice in the back of your mind, already building a case against your own worth. It is saying things like, "But I cursed when I should have prayed. But I thought about revenge even if I did not act on it. But I am too flawed, too inconsistent, too broken for heaven to notice someone like me." Let me tell you something that will dismantle that lie right now. Those imperfections are not your disqualifiers. They are your evidence. Evidence that what you carried was supernatural. Because, listen to me carefully, a perfect person keeping their composure is expected. There is no marvel in that. An angel maintaining grace under pressure is simply doing what angels do. But an imperfect, wounded, exhausted human being who has every reason to shatter, every justification to become bitter, every right to burn it all down, and chooses to hold their ground anyway, that is what stops heaven in its tracks. That is the anomaly. That is what left God without words. Not your perfection, your persistence inside imperfection. So hear me when I say this. You are allowed to be imperfect and still be chosen. You are allowed to have struggled and still be celebrated in the courts of heaven. You are allowed to have doubted and still be the one whose name is spoken before the throne. You are allowed to have failed, to have fallen, to have cried in the dark wondering if any of this was real, and still be the one whose attitude stunned the archangel of war. You are allowed to be human and heavenly at the same time. Right now, I want you to release something. The belief that you must be flawless to be favored. That belief is a chain, and it has been sitting on your frequency, dampening the signal, muffling the sound of who you really are. Let it go. Type the words "I release" in the comments if you are ready to drop that weight right now. Let that be the moment you stop disqualifying yourself from the very thing heaven is trying to hand you. Now that you have released what was blocking you, I need to show you the truth that changes everything. The mega truth. The one that connects your attitude to your identity, to your future. And it begins with understanding something about yourself that you have never been told. Let me now show you what all three truths were pointing to, because they were never separate. They were building toward one revelation. And this is it. The first truth showed you that your attitude was being watched, that heaven pays closer attention to character under fire than to any prayer or performance. The second truth showed you that your attitude did not just endure pressure, it transformed pressure into a frequency, a signal, a sound that rose through the spiritual realm, carrying the evidence of who you really are. The third truth showed you where that frequency landed and what it caused. The silence of the Most High, the stillness of Michael. A reaction in the courts of heaven that the angelic hosts did not anticipate. But here is what I have not told you yet. Here is the part that recontextualizes everything. God was not speechless because of what you did. He was speechless because of what your attitude revealed about who you are. There is a difference between a person who performs well under pressure and a person whose true nature is exposed by pressure. Performance can be trained, performance can be rehearsed. But when you strip away every support system, every comfort, every safety net, every relationship that propped you up, and the person still standing radiates grace instead of destruction, that is not performance. That is identity. Your attitude was never just behavior. It was a revelation, a window into your actual spiritual DNA. And what God saw when he looked through that window was not a tired human trying their best. He saw his own nature, living inside your choices, breathing through your restraint, radiating outward through your silence. And that is what left him without words. Because in all the prayers that rise from this earth every single day, millions and millions of voices asking for something, needing something, declaring something, what reached him through your frequency was different. It was not a request, it was a reflection. You reflected back to the Creator, the very character he planted in you before you were born. And seeing his own nature survive inside a human heart under maximum pressure that moved him in a way that words could not contain. And I hear the voice of the Most High saying this over you right now. When I looked at you in that moment, when you chose gentleness when hardness would have been easier, when you chose to remain open when closing off would have protected you, I did not see a human trying hard. I saw myself. I saw my patience living inside your patience. I saw my kindness surviving inside your kindness. And Michael, my warrior, was stunned because he recognized in you the same quality that defines heaven itself. The ability to hold fire and not be consumed. The ability to carry enough power to destroy and choose mercy instead. That is not human character. That is my fingerprint, and it is still on you. You are not someone who merely survived hardship. You are someone whose character under hardship created a new record in the heavenly courts. Michael was not stunned by what you did. He was stunned by what your attitude revealed about who you are. Let me tell you who you are, because you need to hear this spoken aloud. You went in wounded, and you are coming out wise. You went in silent, and you are coming out sovereign. You went in overlooked, and you are coming out undeniable. You went in carrying weight that should have crushed you, and you are coming out commissioned to carry something far greater. You went in enduring, and you are coming out eternal. You are the spiritual warrior, the one who fights battles without drawing a single weapon. You are the truth carrier, the one who cannot live inauthentically no matter how much easier pretending would be. You are the light bearer, the one who walks into dark rooms and changes the atmosphere without saying a word. And you are the cycle breaker, the one who absorbed generational pain and chose to end it here, in your body, in your generation, so that what comes after you inherits something cleaner. That is who heaven sees when it looks at you. And that is who you are being called to walk as from this moment forward. Now, I want to give you the tool I promised at the beginning. I call it the Sacred Stance Protocol. It is a framework for maintaining your attitude, your frequency, in whatever comes next. Because this is not the last time pressure will come, but the next time it does, you will be ready. The first step is to recognize the trigger. When you feel the heat rising, when the provocation comes, when someone says the thing designed to pull you out of your peace, do not react. Name it. Say to yourself, silently, I see the trigger. That act of naming it creates a gap between what happened and how you respond. And in that gap lives your power. The second step is to recalibrate the frequency. Take 7 seconds, just 7. Breathe in slowly for 4 counts. Hold for 1, exhale for 2. And during that breath, remember who you are. not who the situation is telling you to be. Who you actually are. The one whose attitude silenced a throne room. Breathe from that identity, not from the injury. The third step is to respond from identity, not from injury. Ask yourself one question before you speak. What would the person I am becoming do right now? Not the person I used to be. Not the person they expect me to be. The person I am becoming. Let that version of you answer. Recognize, recalibrate, respond from identity. That is the sacred stance protocol. And if you carry it into your next season, the frequency you produce will be even stronger than what heaven has already witnessed. If you are ready to carry this forward, if something inside you just said, "Yes, this is mine," type the words, "I am ready" in the comments. Say it with the weight of everything you have received today. Now, remember the second step. Recalibrate the frequency. I want to show you something about why that works at the level of the brain. Because what I found connects everything I have been sharing to a discovery that changed my understanding of spiritual warfare. When you hold your composure under extreme stress, your brain shifts from a survival frequency called beta into the highest brainwave state, measurable by science. Scientists call it gamma. Gamma is the frequency associated with genius-level clarity, deep intuition, heightened creativity, and what researchers describe as the flow state. Every child is born with strong gamma activity. That is why children learn faster, feel deeper, sense things adults cannot explain. But as we grow, the pressures of modern life, the education system, the noise, the constant stimulation, all of it gradually suppresses gamma activity. Scientists call this the decline effect. And by the time most people reach adulthood, their gamma has been dimmed to a fraction of what it once was. But here is what is relevant to you. If you are watching this, if this message found you and resonated this deeply, your gamma was likely stronger than average when you were a child. That is why you felt things others could not feel. That is why you knew things before they happened. That is why the world always felt slightly too small, too slow, too shallow for what was moving inside you. And that is why the decline hit you harder than it hit the people around you. Because the gap between who you were designed to be and who the world reduced you to, that gap is wider for you than for most. A neuroscientist named Dr. Robert Lake spent 34 years studying this exact phenomenon. And what he developed was not meditation, which can take months or years to produce measurable gamma shifts. He developed a 7-minute audio track using a technology called brain entrainment that directly reactivates gamma frequency in the brain. You put on headphones, you close your eyes, and in 7 minutes, your brain begins to shift back into the frequency it was always designed to operate in. The frequency of genius. The frequency of intuition. The frequency that once made everything in your life feel connected and flowing and possible. Now, to access this technology through traditional biofeedback therapy, you would pay around $300 per session. A home biofeedback device runs close to $7,000. Dr. Lake originally priced his audio track at $49, which is already a fraction of those alternatives. But because he wanted this to reach the people who actually need it, not just those who can afford luxury, he reduced it to $39 exclusively for those who find it through messages like this one. That price is not available on Amazon or Spotify or anywhere else. And with that $39, you also receive 4 bonuses at no extra cost. An audio track designed for children called Genius Child, a classic book on wealth consciousness that inspired the film The Secret, a guided visualization for 4 key areas of your life, and an infographic outlining 5 daily habits for creating the future you are meant to live. All of it backed by a 100% money-back guarantee with no conditions. I do need to mention this because it is important. There are counterfeit versions circulating online, websites that use the name but do not contain the actual brain entrainment technology. The only way to receive the authentic version with the full technology, all 4 bonuses, and the guarantee is through the link I have placed in the description and the pinned comment of this message. If your spirit resonates with this recalibration, if what I have shared speaks to something inside you that has been waiting to be reawakened, you will find it there. Only if you feel led. Now, let me close this message the way it deserves to be closed. Take a deep breath. Everything I have shared with you today, every truth, every revelation, every reframe, was preparation for this moment. What comes next is not teaching. It is not information. It is activation. In your mind, not physically, I want you to stand up. Stand up in the spirit. Imagine yourself rising from wherever you are and stepping into a room you have never been invited to before. A room made of light. The air is warm and heavy with something you cannot name but your spirit recognizes. This is the throne room. The same throne room your attitude reached. And you are not a visitor here. You are recognized. The angels know your frequency. They know the sound your character made when it passed through this space. You are not here because you performed. You are here because you persisted. Look around. Feel the weight of this recognition settling into your chest. Feel your shoulders lowering. Feel the fear leaving. Not because you fought it, but because it has no authority in this place. Now, let me speak over your life what I believe has been placed on my heart for this moment. Father, I thank you, not for the easy seasons, but for the hard ones, because it was in the hard seasons that this chosen one discovered what they are truly made of. Thank you for watching when the world looked away, for recording what no one applauded, for honoring what no human eye ever recognized. You saw every night, every tear, every prayer whispered into a dark ceiling, and you kept count. I acknowledge before you right now that you saw everything this chosen one carried. You saw the weight that bent their spine, but never broke their spirit. You saw the questions they held in the dark without answers, the faithfulness they gave in small moments when no one was tracking the score, the kindness they extended to people who did not deserve a fraction of it. You saw it all. And I declare right now that not 1 ounce of it was invisible to you. And now, in the authority of this moment, I speak release. Release the old story. The one that says, you are not enough. Release. Release the old ceiling. The one that told you this is as far as you go. Release. Release the wound that made you believe you had to earn what was always yours by identity. Release. Release the comparison that stole your peace every time someone else's breakthrough showed up before yours. Release. Release the unworthiness that whispered you were too damaged to be chosen. Release. Release the need to be understood by people who were never assigned to your journey. Release. Release the cap on your frequency, the invisible barrier that said you could go this high and no further. Release it. Let it fall. Let it shatter on the floor of this throne room. Now I activate. I call forth the full frequency of this chosen one. Activate the genius that was suppressed. Activate the intuition that was silenced. Activate the divine connections that have been waiting for this frequency to stabilize. Activate the doors that unworthiness kept locked. Activate the provision that could not flow until the attitude was set. Activate the assignments that were written before this chosen one took their first breath. Activate it all. Now, I speak protection over what is rising. Guard this frequency from self-sabotage, from the old patterns that will try to return when the enemy realizes what has shifted. Shield this attitude from the people who will try to provoke it back into the old posture. Protect the rising. Protect the process. Protect the becoming. And I hear the Father declaring over you right now, you are my warrior who fights without weapons. You are my light that shines without performance. You are my truth that stands without defense. You are the one whose attitude silenced my court and moved the heart of the archangel. And I am not finished with you. I have only begun. What you carried in silence, I will repay in thunder. What was taken from you in the dark, I will restore in broad daylight. And the same attitude that brought you through the fire will be the foundation of everything I build through you next. I am the spiritual warrior. I am the truth carrier. I am the light bearer. I am the cycle breaker. I am the one whose character was forged under pressure and whose frequency reached the throne of the Most High. Do not say amen yet. I want you to sit in this frequency for a moment. Let the weight of everything spoken over you settle into your bones. Let the recognition sink past your mind and into your spirit. Do not rush this. You have been rushing your whole life. Right here, right now, be still and let it land. It is done. It is sealed. We receive it. In Jesus' name. Amen. One more thing before you leave this space. You are not the same person who pressed play. The version of you that started this message carried doubt about whether heaven noticed. That version has been upgraded. You walked in carrying the question, does anyone see me? You are walking out carrying a frequency that silenced a throne room. Remember that. On the hard days, on the quiet nights, when the pressure returns and the voice of unworthiness tries to reclaim its seat, remember what your attitude did. Remember where it reached. Remember who stood still because of it. If this message brought clarity to confusion, if it brought recognition to what has been hidden, if it brought peace to a storm you have been navigating alone, let your like be your amen without words. There are more messages being prepared for your next season, more words that I believe are being written for the exact moment you will need them. Stay connected so they can find you when that moment comes. And for those who felt called to what I shared about the frequency recalibration, about the 7-minute audio that reactivates the gamma state your brain was born to operate in, the link is in the description and the pinned comment. Only if your spirit confirms it. Now, one final thing, and this might be the most important thing I say today. If someone came to mind while you were listening to this message, someone who has been carrying a weight that nobody around them acknowledges, someone who has been unusually quiet lately, not because they have nothing to say, but because they are holding more than anyone realizes. Someone who has been showing up every single day with a composure that looks like strength on the outside, but you know it is costing them everything on the inside. Someone who looks fine, but you sense something deeper is happening beneath the surface. Share this with them. Text it to them. Send it however you need to, because this might be the confirmation their spirit has been praying for. This might be the message that finally tells them that their silence was heard, their endurance was recorded, and their attitude moved the heart of the Almighty. Your share could be the exact moment heaven's message reaches them too. Go in peace, chosen one. Your attitude has been recorded, your frequency has been acknowledged, and what is coming next will be worth everything you carried. You are not leaving a message, you are leaving a season. Walk forward. The throne room remembers your name.